Hi. I've had a 102 fever for 4 days, so that's why I sound like shit. Also, you may notice that there's plastic wrapping over my Zalmao there. It's because the ceiling of my store is leaking because it rained. That probably doesn't happen where you live because you probably live in a place where everything is not held together by shit. But in New York City, you're either paying again, like you either have a glass office where you're paying $100,000 for the whole floor, or you have some rinky-dink shit like this where like this room here is actually an add-on to the building. There's nothing above it, and it is as rinky-dink as can be. I'm not the one who put it here, but and I didn't know it was rinky-dink until after I rented the place and started fucking renovating it. But such is life. So today I'd like to answer a question that very often gets asked that I haven't answered. How do you test resistors? How do you test capacitors? How do you tell that they're bad? And again, most of my answers, a lot of you guys, you don't like my answers, but they are the truth. And in this case, the answer is going to be the way I test resistors and capacitors and diodes is I use my eyeballs. Like, I mean, come on. Like, again, I'm gonna fix this board without even taking out a multimeter. Like, look at this. Look at this shit. Like, are you telling me you need a multimeter to tell you that this is bad? Do you need to know what end of the multimeter to put where? Look at this shit. I mean, that looks probably as bad as my throat does right now if I had a doctor look under it, which would probably require healthcare or something. Anyway, so as I said, we are going to fix this board without a schematic and without a multimeter because this a board that looks like this does not require a schematic or a multimeter. And I'm always saying to use your brain, and here my brain is telling me that I could save some of it if I used my eyes instead. So this is what it's like to have a new heating element in a HAKKO FR801. Okay, I see how it is. You want me to buy the new one. You want me to buy the new shit. That's what it is. This is your way of trying to trick me. You're not going to trick me, HAKKO. Yeah, definitely gotta love the new heating element. Look at how hot it is. Bullshit. Okay. And let's put this here. This chip is for the 3.3 volt and 5 volt power rails of the machine. By the way, it controls two different buck converters. This is on an 820-3330 board, which is worth fixing. Unlike the 2915. You see, what's going to happen with the 2915 board is you're going to spend half an hour or 40 minutes or an hour fixing it, and then a week later your customer's going to come back to you and say that the graphics chip is dead. And after you ran all them wires along it, then when they take it to Apple, Apple's going to tell them to go fuck themselves. And then when you try to fix it, you're going to be using all these GPUs that you buy from these bullshit sellers, and that are all selling crap. And it's going to last for like 4 months, even if you do a perfect job of your BGA rework. So 2915 boards, no thank you. But 3330, good GPU, solid Ivy Bridge chipset. You work on it, it will still work when you're done. That's all I ask. I feel like I'd be better off with a fucking lighter and compressed air than I would be with this HAKKO the way it is with its new element. You can even call this a new element. Look at this shit. Nothing feels the same as it did before. I used to be able to just literally fucking blow the chip into place with heat. Like none of this lining it and blah. Like you put the good leaded solder with the good flux on it already there, and it just put itself where it's supposed to be. That's misaligned. We'll align it in a second. Mofo. That's some nice, nasty, crusty, disgusting solder now, isn't it? That's some gross, fluxless trash. Okay. Don't worry about making a mess with the flux in the beginning. Because this whole shit, again, you can always clean afterwards and put it in an ultrasonic cleaner. And it'll look absolutely fine. What is a concern is when the board still has all those red, corroded looking garbage probe points in the... I can't wait to go home. Go straight to bed. The kitty will run up to me and meow and nuzzle me. She did that yesterday. That's the great thing about cats. Like, they know. Well, not all cats, but, you know, cats that like you. If you're nice to the kitty and it knows that you're not feeling well, it will be nice to you. So, I can't say what it is just yet, but I will be saying soon. It is going to be a video on it. There's a stupid class that I've been taking recently, and it's complete bullshit. And one of the ways that it's a required class. If it wasn't required, nobody would fucking take it. And it's the way the instructor gets people to stay awake because he's that boring is through you keeping the air conditioner on at 65 or 67 degrees inside of a cool room. So today it was already kind of cold because of all the rain. And I've already been sick since last Thursday, so imagine when I enter a room where some fucking asshole has the air conditioner set to 65, 68 degrees. So yeah. If I wasn't losing my voice before, I definitely am now. Anyway, this like I'm 99% certain that when I plug that DC in board in, I'm gonna see a fan spin. 99.999% certain that once I find a fan, once I find a fucking fan, that I'm gonna see that board spin. Not the board spin. I'm gonna see the fan spin. If I spend one more minute at work, I'm sure I'll start to see the board spin. And I get to this stupid. I leave for this damn thing at 6 in the morning. I get out of it at 6 in the afternoon. And huh? Okay, you don't want to spin. Well, now you're actually gonna make me work for my money. Okay. This is the part where I see if I even soldered this thing right, because I feel like shit. And what do you know? The heat went off on the HAKKO. Great job, heating element. This thing used to go off if you kept the heat above 6 and the air below 10. Now it goes off if the air is below 15 and the heat is above 5. What a... Like... They do this... They do this on purpose. They have to be doing this shit on purpose. Like, they know that getting $650 from you is not enough. They got to get $650 from you, like, as recurring revenue. That's another thing that they all talk about in this course that I'm taking, like how with the potential for recurring revenue and all these ways to get recurring revenue, and like whatever happened to just charging people a lot of money for a product and just taking the money and being happy? Like, why do you have to make money every single fucking month or year off of people? I mean, don't get me wrong. It would be great to have just one of you pay my rent for the rest of my life. That would be really cool. That really, I can't say I would complain if one person was pretty much responsible for 99% of my personal income for one company, and that I didn't have to actually do shit anymore. I could just fly away on a cruise. But I don't like doing other people what I don't want done to me. And it just seems so fundamentally predatory. Oh, fuck. Yeah, I soldered this like a dumbass, didn't I? Alrighty. Oh, it's time to hit the hay. It is. Yeah, I'm losing it. I'm watching the solder, and it's not even going anywhere. I'm just making more blobs the longer I stay here. It's definitely time to go home and get some sleep. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. See that's called time to go home. All right. So let's see what this mofo is talking about. Yeah, I just ripped something off that's probably important. Oh, this is atrocious. I really should. Okay, so still doesn't work. Probably because the chip was bad, or I burned the fuck out of it when I soldered it to the board. So we try again. I made my measurements and I saw there was no short to ground on PP5V S3, and I also noticed, oh, there's a huge solder blob right there, so duh. And there's 500 millivolts instead of 5 volts on PP5V S3. So that's no good. So first thing we do is go back around this area that was not soldered well at all by me. Let's go over that nasty ass bridge over there, fix it so it's not all bridged and fucked up. Add a little bit of solder for the ground / heatsink pad. Clean the nasty affected area. Some alcohol. Yeah. For all of you people who want to troll, that is a fucking paper towel. Because if I walk up front to get my clean wipers, I will probably not come back. Not today. Okay, let's look and see what that looks like. That could definitely look better, but kitty and bed await. So let's see what we can do. Okay, so it is hot. And the HAKKO turned off again. I might as well use it to preheat the area at least until it turns itself back on. Okay, it turned the heat. It decided to turn the heat back on. How graceful of it. Melt my chip, you asshole. Okay. Yeah, definitely time to go home. No, Mo. Oh, come on. Did I ever check to see if this board had a 12-volt rail? Wouldn't it be funny if it didn't? I just assume that it did because I'm tired. Because, I mean, you really can't make anything without PP bus G3 hot, right? So, wouldn't it be smart if I just kind of measured that one from the beginning? Well, yeah, because that does exist. So, yeah, I have PP Best G3 hot. Let's go back for a second. So let's make this multimeter do some work. So something tells me that the pathway between you and you is dead. Yeah, it is dead. See, that's one of those things that I probably should have noticed right from the beginning of the video. You were probably screaming that shit. You know you were. If you're one of the watchers that's like, oh my God, the trace is gone. What are you doing? What are you doing, you dumb fuck? Okay. I can't believe I'm taking more than 5 minutes to solve a 5-volt rail issue. This is the easiest fucking MacBook Pro power rail issue to solve. Like, there's nothing to it. And I'm still here. This is embarrassing. You don't get how embarrassing this is. This is as sad as it gets. Okay. Oh boy. I think I have to sneeze. Oh, okay. So yeah, this started as a snarky video on how you don't need a multimeter to measure components. And technically, I never used the multimeter to measure components. I used the multimeter to measure a trace. And now it turns on and turns off. Yeah, this is some bullshit that can wait until tomorrow. But, or the day after tomorrow. Or the year after tomorrow. Man, I'm not feeling like I need a vacation. Oh, I just can't leave. Let's see. I think it's just because I tried to turn it on with no RAM that it did that whole fan spin and then spin down shit. I'm used to it beeping, you know? That's what I thought it would do if it didn't see RAM. Oh, look, the HAKKO's already decided to turn itself off. Oh, great. I didn't want you to be on anyway. This is going to get really... I don't think it's going to be easy for me to get used to hating HAKKO. And I didn't buy I didn't buy the heating element off of eBay or nothing like that either. That thing came from Allspec. Allspec doesn't sell bullshit. And again, I used to say the same thing about HAKKO. Mother. Oh. Yeah. Let's see if this crap works. Magnet. I could use you later. I like magnets. You know, a lot of people suggest that I just get healthcare, and I've never had healthcare. I just feel like it's such a bunch of bullshit. I feel like insurance in general is just a bunch of bullshit. Because like you think about it seriously. Let's discuss this for a minute. So the whole point of insurance is to be a profitable company. Insurance companies don't exist if they're not profitable, right? Now the entire model of insurance is you are going to give the insurance company money, and then at some point in time, you're pretty much going to tell them, okay, I gave you money, so now I need you to give me back the money that I gave you. That's the whole way that insurance works. You give them money in exchange for the ability to take back your very own money. Now, the only way for an insurance company to be profitable, because again, for the most part, insurance companies make money by taking yours. The only way for an insurance company to be profitable is to give you back less of your money than you gave them. That's the way this works. So by nature, by its very definition, insurance is literally stealing from you. Like when I need that money, if I put it in my own bank account, I really do feel like I'm better off than I would be with insurance. So, for example, I haven't had health care since I was 18. I'm 26. Let's say that's 8.5 years. Let's say health care is $400 a month. So let's just try to do some basic math here on the smartphone while I'm screwing the heat. Screwing the heat sink in, right? So let's just grab the calculator app here. Oh, I miss when they had this alphabetically organized. I don't know why Android keeps changing shit. All right, so we have 8 years times 12 months a year times $400 a month. $38,400. That's in my bank account that would have not been there. Now, I think probably 1 or 2 doctor's appointments. Maybe I forget if it was 100, 125. Let's just round up and say 200 each. So let's say it comes out to $400, right? So we're going to take that out of there. So far, I'm ahead by $1,800 than where I would have been had I been paying for insurance. $38,000, not $18,000. I don't know where I got that number from. My head is killing me. So if I had insurance, I would have been literally like $38,000. I mean, I look at my office and I look at the stuff in it, like $8,000 BGA rework machine, $2,000 speakers, $400 microscope with a $650 $650 camera with $100 lens and a 4K screen and a $200 power supply and a $500 fume extractor and a $650 hot air station that currently works like a $50 IOE piece of shit. But that's beside the point. And I look at all these little things. Where was I with this whole health thing? Yeah, so the whole idea is like when I look around and I see the amount of stuff that I have, I'm looking around as much as I can, and I can't even add up $34,000, $38,000 worth of stuff. It really makes me wonder. I mean, it's a small amount every month to pay, that a lot of people think. But when I look and I see over the last 8 years, all these little times where I've been close to being bankrupt, all these little times where I didn't have the money to do what I wanted, and I was like this far away from doing what I wanted, and I just made it by a hair. I kind of wonder, like, would I have made it if I was paying for healthcare? And because I really did need to see a doctor because I had something terrible happen like twice, and it wasn't really that terrible. And this is as terrible as it sounds. It's a fever, and it's going to be gone in a day or two. And the only reason I even still have it is because I have a jackass instructor that likes to keep the class awake by setting the air conditioner to 63 degrees. And I sit right above that thing. I'm sure he's going to burn in hell for that shit, but that is for another video. Yeah, like the way to the way to fix healthcare. It's the same way that you fix like a raggedy studio setup. Like, have you ever been at a studio and you know it has potential, but some of the gear is just not hooked up the way it's supposed to, where you look under the desk and it's a complete, total fucking mess and you have no idea what's going to what? Like, that's kind of what our healthcare system is. And the only way to actually fix that crap, it's not to like create these little like bills and laws here and there that change small sections of it and make new programs. The answer is to throw the system in the garbage and start from scratch. It really is. It's to take everything the way it currently exists, dismantle it completely, and then start from scratch. The problem is, every time you do that, especially at a recording studio, you have downtime. So it's not like just figure out how to make this work so that we can record this extra channel tonight and we're good. It's no, for one day you will not be able to make money off of this room, and that's what we need to make it work again. See, that's not what a studio owner wants to hear. That is not what they want to hear. Again, like, how many studios have you? I mean, if you're a professional and if you're a professional, let's say tech or engineer, you've probably been to a lot of places that have a Neve VRP console that has a bunch of toothpicks in it. Because instead of paying somebody to sit in there for an entire day, which is what it takes to get all that shit out of there, they just keep putting toothpicks in because they don't want the room to not be available. And eventually you have an entire console that's filled with toothpicks. If you have a really dumbass studio owner, then you wind up with a console, Neve VRP console. That by the way, that's like the fucking 2010 15-inch MacBook Pro of recording consoles. I mean, it really is. Like, from a maintenance standpoint, it's just a complete piece of shit. Regardless of whether you like the console or not for its features or sound, that is arguable and subjective. But from a maintenance standpoint, it is a complete piece of shit. You can fry an egg on it. It just, everything in that thing just dies for no reason. And it's really annoying to work on. But the point is, what I was talking about was, oh boy, I forgot. The point is, to get something done effectively, sometimes you just have to start from scratch. And that's really what needs to happen here. The problem is that a lot of people are going to be pissed off in the beginning when it doesn't work. And even if they're really with you when you start tearing it down and building it from scratch, they're with you that needs to be done. Are they going to be with you when they have to live with the results of the first few years of a new system? And the answer is usually no. They're going to scream and throw shit at you and not re-elect you, which is why we're stuck with the system that we have in this country. And again, a lot of people are going to say that they think they know what the problems are, and there's a lot of different theories. My theory on why healthcare in America is fucked is there's simply too much profit in it. Really, I mean, when I was 18 years old or 19 years old, I actually applied for a job as a health insurance salesman. And there were a lot of people doing it that made good money at it. The health insurance salesman does not help the doctor. The health insurance salesman does not help the hospital. The health insurance salesman does not help you at all. Really, the health insurance salesman is there to talk you into spending money on their health care. And again, I'm all for sales. If you listen to this channel, you'll see that I believe in being a good salesperson, and I take pride in having good salesmanship. But I'm directly selling my own product and service here. I'm not really wasting any resources. Health care is not something that needs to be sold. It really isn't. You're sick. You need a doctor. Oh, you have a bullet in you. Let us remove that for you. Like, there's no salesmanship required there. But I mean, you could fill 3 high-rise buildings in Manhattan completely, like from bottom to top floor, with just people who don't do anything in healthcare in this particular neighborhood but fucking sell healthcare. And that is overhead, because all of those people get paid, good wages, good salaries to do this. They even talk about recurring revenue. So not only does that get paid once, but that health insurance salesperson who sold you the idea of signing up for healthcare, when you're paying for your health insurance, a small portion of your premium is actually going to the person who had the privilege of introducing you to the insurance. It kind of reminds me of that guy in Prison Break, the actor who was in Boston Legal, wound up shooting somebody and going, "What? We're supposed to pay you 30% just for introductions?" I like that line, because there is some times where a middleman really doesn't make sense, and when it comes to whether or not I can afford to go to a doctor, whether or not I can afford to have surgery, I find it fundamentally offensive that there is profit involved. From people who don't have anything to do with the process. I'm not saying that doctors should have their salary mandated I'm not offended at the idea that a surgeon makes $500,000 a year or $1 million a year. I'm not. That doesn't piss me off one bit. What drives me nuts is seeing people that have nothing to do with the process, that just add to the bureaucracy, and the crap, making ridiculous amounts of money, and then actually collecting that money on a regular basis without doing anything. Well, again, like, does that I'm not against salespeople. I'm not against salesmanship, but is that salesperson actually contributing to the success of the system? Is that salesperson actually contributing to you being healthier? To you having better access to healthcare? No. There are too many people, in my opinion, who receive money within our current healthcare system who, if you simply erased them, it would be fine. And, another thing, I probably should have brought this up earlier, but with how slow I'm reassembling this, I have time. So there was a different other studio that I worked at. So when the record label came, right, and a lot of studios work like this. So the record label would show up, and the record label would they would negotiate a rate of, let's say, $3,500 a day for a really good room, and they wouldn't pay it for the whole 3 months the band was there. And then when the band's not there anymore, they send the label a bill, and they ignore it. And they send the label another bill, and they say, "Okay, we'll pay it, but send us this, that, and the other." And the label fucking ignores it. And they send them another one, the bill again. There was one studio whose name I'm not going to mention, where this is back when fax machines were really a primary method of communication, before email became popular. He actually took his fax, he taped 2 pieces of paper together, and he put it through the fax machine, and then he had another one with the bill, and then he scotch taped it to the first piece that came out, and then scotch taped the other into the second piece to create a fax loop, so that it would not stop faxing this one record label until they paid the fucking bill. And they called and they go, "We can't get any faxes because you're tying up our fax machine." And they go, "I can't pay my rent because you haven't paid me any money." And they go, "Okay, fine." And they got the idea, and they paid the bill. But the idea here is, the record label is going to dick around the studio. The studio knows that. So that's the reason that record label is paying $3,500 a day for a room that an indie band with cash, again, cash in hand, is going to be paying $1,200 for. And the same is true here. Like and this was even told to me when I worked at the whole 45 minutes that I worked at Atlantis Healthcare. They told me that we negotiate a lot on behalf of our customers. So they were always calling up the doctors, always calling up the practices, asking, "What's this charge? What's that charge? Do we really need this? Do we really need that?" And here's what's going to actually happen. See, when the doctor if the doctor only had to deal with you, he'd probably deal with you a lot differently than if he had to deal with somebody who had an army of lawyers and negotiators and people bothering him all the time. Because again, he knows that it's going to be very difficult to get that money. He knows that even when he's justified in charging a certain amount, that he's going to get bothered. And the doctor knows that even if the amount is justified, and even if you sign off on it, that it's going to take him a long time to get paid. So he compensates for that by fucking the insurance company in the ass with a large bill. And then that, in turn, forces the insurance company to fuck you in the ass with high premiums and not helping you. And it doesn't do any good for anybody. It really doesn't. Like the lead guy here, he had a knee surgery recently. So he has his knee surgery, and he gets back from it, and he needs some pill that he didn't anticipate that he would need for some kind of blood clot, and they didn't want to cover it for weeks and weeks. This would have cost him like $4,000 out of pocket. And then he finally gets him to cover it, like they should have, because they're his fucking insurance company, and he never has health problems. So they've just been they've been collecting money for nothing this whole time. They finally agree to it. Then the doctor says, "Oh, you actually need, let's say the 20. And I don't know if I'm 100% right here. The 20 milligram version of this instead of the 15." So he goes to get it, and the insurance company goes, "No, you don't need that." And he goes, "You just signed off after I argued with you for a long time, and my doctor argued with you for a long time, saying that I need this." And they go, "Well, yeah, but that was for the 15 milligram version. The 20 milligram version is totally different." And he goes, "Well, no, it's not. It's the same thing. It's just a different size dosage." And here's my doctor's prescription saying, that I need it, why I need it, and so on and so forth. And he had to fight again for another 2 weeks to get the required medication. And, this back and forth is totally unnecessary, totally unwarranted, but but it exists, and it hurts everybody. And it's why healthcare is so expensive. It's why doctors are so expensive. Because again, like a doctor, he can't say publicly, like, "Fuck you, insurance company. This is going to be $5,000 for you, but it's going to be $200 for a walk-in customer." They can't do that. They can't do what the recording studio can do. Like, the recording studio can do that because it's the music industry, who the fuck cares? But, the medical industry, you can't really get away with that. I'm going to log into guest mode to show you that this works, by the way, which is, surprise to me as much as it probably is to you. But the point here is, again, you can't get away with that in the medical sector. So the reality is that little $200 job that the doctor did that he's charging the insurance company $5,000 for, he has to make that his regular price. So if you don't have insurance now, thanks to the fuckery that the insurance companies have created, and thanks to the bullshit going back and forth between the two, now when you go in without insurance for that basic little $200 thing, that little $200 thing is now $5,000. And that's wrong. So we have a system where the people who are the cause of the problem, the cause of the overbilling, and the cause of the bullshit are the same people that we're forced to go to get any type of reasonable health care. And that's just why I don't have health insurance and why I haven't bought into this silly-ass system. Again, at the end, if the insurance company is profitable, and just going on a basic definition that the insurance company has profit from collecting insurance payments and premiums, and Jesus, and loses money when they pay out a claim, the fact that they're profitable means that their business model is about, their success in life is about ensuring that they are always taking more from me than they're paying back. Why the hell should I ever want insurance for anything? No, my bank account. I can always withdraw from my bank account. When I go up there to the register and I write a check to myself or I make a withdrawal slip, Chase Bank may have a long line at times and they may not have the best air conditioning all the time, but they have never, ever, ever said, "You know what, Lewis? Your money's here. You've been giving us money this whole time, but you can't get that money back and we're not going to tell you why." Fuck you. They've never done that. Anyways, you can see here, this works great. I didn't measure the component, so I had to replace a few components to get PP5ES3 back. I was an idiot with my soldering because I feel like I'm falling asleep and feel like shit. And my soldering also sucked because I feel like shit. But yeah, it was just running a wire, replacing some components, and that was it. And this works. So you look at some of the things on the board, and again, you don't always need a multimeter. Testing a resistor, testing a capacitor, very often it is just the eyeballs. And to end the insurance thing, there are times where I feel like insurance really is necessary, though that's when it comes to other people. So, for example, like when I say I don't want health care, that's the person at risk is me. The only person that I'm putting at risk is me. So I am taking a risk that, if I have a heart attack or I need knee surgery when I'm 40, again, that 38,000 that I saved, that's going to turn into 70 to 80 to 100,000, 150,000 to the point where I'm not even going to care if I need a knee surgery. I'll just pay for it out of all the money I save. But let's say I'm 21 and I have a heart attack. Or let's say I'm 19 and I have a heart attack and I have no insurance. Then I'm fucked. But that's a risk that I'm personally assuming. Now, with things like workman's comp, let's say somebody hurts themselves here and I don't have insurance because I just say, well, I'll just pay it out of the money that I have. In that case, I would actually be hurting somebody else. So I would be taking a risk on behalf of somebody else, and that is not right. Insurance is helpful because people, they don't save money for these things. And a lot of the times people don't start with the money for these things. And that's where it comes in handy. So, I do pay for insurance for these matters because it doesn't affect my well-being. It affects the other people's well-being. And of course, there's the whole thing. If you don't have workman's comp insurance in New York, they can fine you just stupid 6, 7, 8-figure amounts of money. But there are a lot of businesses that do this that they they laugh at the idea that I even have employees on the books. Like laptop repair shops, iPhone repair shops. In New York, I mean, a good 75% of them do not pay employees with paychecks or taxes or any of that. Like I'm one of the few dumbass, silly chumps that actually follows the law and has liability insurance and workman's comp insurance and a license and a payroll company and all that silly crap. But yeah, so this started as me wanting to show you something very simple. It segued into me doing a really fucked up job of fixing a board, and it ended with a rant on insurance. That's it for today.